It looks like the BBC is taking it from all sides and still hasn't really learned anything from it. When punter votes with the feet, there's not really a lot you can do about it. And that's exactly what's happened with the Beeb. Over the past 12 months, 500,000 people have stopped paying their TV license, and the numbers are falling further at an accelerated rate.
Right. Yeah.
This last fall of license payers is almost double the fall of the previous year, when 300,000 people gave up the ghost. According to figures, 94% of adults use some service or other of the BBC,
Yep.
but only 80% are footing the bill.
Yes.
BBC's income is down £1.2 billion since 2017, but still, they were up until recently paying some of the highest salaries in the telebroadcasting sector, with former Radio 2 host Scott Mills receiving an annual sum of £749,999 a year. Great gig if he can get it. Now, of course, he has been fired because of sex abuse allegations. Looks like these people seem to gather at the Beeb, don't they? Seems to be sort of the
Yeah. Yes.
place to be.
Yes. Yes.
Not to forget Gary Lineker, who I'm not saying that Gary
No, no,
Lineker
no,
is
no,
a
no, no, no. That's one thing he hasn't been accused of.
no,
Yes. Yeah.
not to forget Gary Lineker, who at one time had a salary of £1,350,000 a year.
Yeah.
No fewer than 70 people earned £178,000 a year over the last 12 months.
Mm. Yeah.
Right? More than 70. New BBC boss Matt Burton, sorry, is wanting universal tax across the nation, a little like council tax to be charged by the government if you have a TV or not. It
Yes.
could be based on your house. Just what everybody needs, yet another levy.
Yes.
It seems he took the idea from Germany, where this already happens. Just over £15 a month. At the moment, this is only in the discussion stage with the government, but
Yeah.
as history tells us, it's only a matter of time. In the meantime, the BBC is firing radio hosts and drafting in internet influencers to take their place. Not sure if this is a cost-saving exercise or if it's to bring in the people who watch these celebs
Yeah.
on YouTube to try and bolster the viewing and listening numbers.
Yeah.
Will the quality go down further? Even further?
Yeah.
Probably. But then I don't watch the BBC. Not here from Brazil anyway.
Oh well. Yes. Okay. I'm just thinking of it. The Steve Allen Goldie Oldie show on a Radio 2 on a Saturday night. You know. There you
I'd
go.
have to think my name. There's too many Steve Allens.
Is it?
Uh, yeah, on radio.
Yeah.
There's Steve Allen,
Yeah.
who's on the LBC roster,
Oh,
and
okay.
there's N Allen,
Yeah.
who's a comedian on GB News.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just thankful that the other Steve Allen, the American Steve Allen's dead already.
Well, okay. Right.
Died when
Yes.
I was a boy. He died when I was a boy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, um, yeah, I mean, the BBC, I mean, I will say this. I mean, to be quite honest, I still sometimes watch older BBC content on other platforms that are available to me legally, I may add. Yep.
Yep.
And yeah, last night I was watching, yeah, because yeah, there's been some things happening, and I finished watching the football, and yeah, went off and watched a retro episode of Doctor Who, with okay, Tom Baker, and I thought, well, okay, it's hammy and everything, but it was good quality. It was good quality ham. Yeah, if you know what I mean by that.
Yep.
Yeah, they didn't over budget it, but it had a good story and it was interesting. And yeah, I mean, but again, the BBC was excellent at making documentaries at one time, excellent at making dramas, probably not your thing. Good at music programs. music programming, yeah, and things like this, and excellent news as well. It did occasionally make mistakes with different things, yeah, who doesn't? Um, but it did actually provide what you could say was an adequate to good service. Excellent in some cases. But yes, and people happily paid the tax because you only paid for one thing, the BBC TV license, and that was it. Now the world has changed. You've got more options. We live in this incredible digital age where, yeah, we've got YouTube, which is a rival in many ways for people's time. Don't forget, it's just not watching programs, it's people's time and attention, where you can get everything from your music on it, right the way through to what we do here, opinion pieces, through to news channels and alternative comedies, not necessarily dramas. You can get some films and things like this as people might produce their own dramas and things, but yeah, they're not the highest quality sometimes. But yeah, it's available for those that want it. For either adverts or you can pay you can pay not to have adverts. And that's equally true of Netflix. Um, I'm not advertising these things in particular. There are a couple that are free. One is Plex, one is Tubi. And there's other ones available as well, Pluto, um, and others are available as well, where you can watch different content depending on where you are. And then you've got the options of using VPNs and things. But with them, you will get adverts as well. So you'll get American adverts. So you're not stitching anyone up. It's being paid for. Um, and yes, you can make your choice of what you pay for, and then you can get other film channels and things like this. You have an option. You have options to pay, not pay. If you probably want some more quality content, you pay extra for it. But you don't want to be paying for BBC license or the BBC, not BBC, the TV license, and then paying Netflix, then paying Sky, then paying all others. Yeah. Um, and when you're watching sport, you used to have a reasonable amount of sport on BBC. A lot of that's disappeared now. Um, so yes, at one time it was probably good value for money. You got a good service, and people paid it. Um, Now this idea of people now opting not to pay it. There's all sorts of loopholes. If you don't actually watch live television, you don't have to pay it, or BBC iPlayer. In other words, you're not directly watching any BBC content. If they choose to put something on YouTube, that's on them. Yeah. Um, it's it is a it's a changing world, and yes, they're gonna get hit. And the other side of it all is, if you produce content people actually want to watch and trust and believe in, you can survive in a competitive market. Um, Now, this enforcing people to pay what is essentially another tax when they're paying for other services. Now, the idea that if people have to pay for the BBC, they'll watch it and disregard other services. Um, are they going to be restricted to only one news channel? Almost, yeah, or what we would call the mainstream news channels. Um, and is there something else behind it? I understand the BBC need money, but they will have to learn to compete just like anyone else does. Yeah.
Well, I think if they started to look at the salaries they're paying,
Yeah. Well.
first off, they would
Yeah.
save an awful lot of money. And I know that drafting these
Yeah.
influencers, horrible word.
Well. Okay.
Uh, but anyway, and horrible people, if you don't mind me saying.
Well,
Uh,
in your judgment, yes. I mean, I'm
yeah,
not supporting them. I know where you're coming from, but in your judgment, yes. But if people watch them, yeah,
well, that is true.
yeah,
Right. They are being influenced by them. God
yeah,
help the UK. But
yeah,
anyway, but I mean, that could be a cost cutting. That could be a cost cutting um,
Yeah.
um, project.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
even but
yeah.
even so, the BBC is wasting an awful lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, the argument is you got to pay high for top talent.
Yeah,
Well,
but they don't have any.
yeah. Well, this is it. I mean, they were paying and very few people watching. Maybe Gary Lineker, people watch Match of the Day. Maybe people wanted to hear. I mean, I disagree with
And
Mr.
I can promise you, sir, that anybody tuning into Match of the Day weren't tuning in for Gary Lineker. They were
No.
tuning in to watch the football match,
Well, I
which was
used to, yeah, yeah.
all about.
I mean, yes. I used to go off and do something. I mean, sometimes it's interesting to listen to pundits. They're people that have done it. I won't disagree with Gary Lineker's footballing prowess and experience. In fact, it's quite interesting when he speaks. Other matters, I don't agree with him on. But yeah, um, but yeah, it's always interesting that, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I used to watch it for because you didn't have access to, you couldn't watch all the matches. You watched the highlights. It was good, it was interesting. You've still got to see some football. Um,
When I was a lad during the afternoon on a
yeah,
Sunday,
yeah,
Gerald Sinstadt,
yeah,
he was a commentator
yeah,
back in the day,
yeah,
and there was a football match on the telly live,
yeah,
and he was the only person you saw.
yeah,
It's the opening of the opening of the program
mm,
was the shot of the football field.
yes,
That's how and he introduced you to the game,
yeah,
what's about to take place, and
yeah,
then that was it. And after the game, that was it.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Have,
I mean,
have a nice Sunday. The rest of the Sunday.
yeah, I know what you mean. Yes, because as my father nicknamed it, Godball after it. I mean, we know we live in Brazil. We have,
Yep.
like yesterday, the football game finished. And so many different pundits, people that have played football, people that have never kicked a football in their life, everybody has an opinion. Yeah. Um, that may be right or wrong or indifferent. I mean, I sat there and um, yeah, I mean, I'm experienced enough. I've not played, obviously, the level your son has. I've played football, and yeah, I know how difficult it is sometimes to do things. And um, yeah, you can have an opinion. But yeah, but getting back to it, yeah, is Gary Lineker worth the money they were paying? Eventually, the BBC thought he wasn't worth the trouble. That's why he lost his position. Um, and yeah, he's gone off and doing podcasts and things like that. But um, I mean, again, now he's in a position. If people want to hear what Gary Lineker has to say about football, they now have the option to go onto his podcast. Yeah,
A lot of people who used to work on the telly have resigned
yeah,
and started their own podcasts.
yeah. Well, they probably get money straight in their own pocket.
Of course. And
They get,
the funny thing is that their viewing figures have gone through the roof.
yeah. They have editorial control as well to a point. Yeah. I mean, they'll have producers and they'll have legal requirements of what they can and can't say sometimes. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, but yes, good luck to them. I mean, this is it's now consumer demand. The BBC, you pay your, what is it, £130 a year or something. I don't know how much it is anymore.
What
Uh,
TV license?
yes,
108? 108?
180.
Yeah.
I mean, in the scheme of things, it's still not too bad. Um,
Well, I'm
yeah,
sure that Granny would beg to differ.
well, okay. Well, yeah, yes, they've done away with the old people's thing, but um, no, I mean, I don't mean that. I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, you decide yourself whether it's good value for money or not. Um,
I just don't know what the British people are complaining about. All they do is complain. TV license, 180 quid a year. Come on, people. Pull your socks up.
yeah. I mean, I mean, it's called the national broadcaster, which would mean it's got some government control, which I don't like as well. Yeah, the BBC never had. Yeah, okay. When I was watching my Doctor Who channel, my Doctor Who episode,
Mm.
I'll be quite honest, it was on the verge of what we would call woke. Yeah, in certain things. Yeah, um, but I used to enjoy it, and it was. I wouldn't say it was educational, but it was interesting. It was a bit of fun. It wasn't preaching. Yeah. Um,
Mark, just to let you know, Doctor Who is not a real doctor, Mark. He's like the guy at the World Health Organization. He's not a real doctor.
well, he calls himself Doctor. You know, who am I to disagree? You know, been going
Doctor,
for
Doctor Who.
he's over 1,300 years old. You know, it's been around a long time. You know, keeps regenerating. I mean, you know, it's a good trick if you can do it. You know, um, but yeah, you understand what I mean. It. I'd say I wouldn't say it's high quality. I mean, technology's moved on, and even when it was made cornflake packets and
Yes, of course it was. Yeah.
yeah, but
We speak.
it was imaginative.
Mhm.
Fair play. Somebody they used to give like the people doing special effects £50 an episode, probably more. But yeah, and they used to come up with some interesting things. Yeah, and the camera angles, and sometimes it would click out of focus and back in. They could evidently only afford one or two takes on everything. Um, yeah, it today by today's standards, it probably looks like a somebody's independent YouTube production. But yeah, we loved it, and it was a popular program. So was Top of the Pops, which was like a half an hourly MTV or half hour YouTube videos. Yeah. Um, and then you got other things come on, and then we had the Monday morning magazine shows for younger people. Um, again, these were all highly widely watched. You try and do it now, you don't get the viewing figures. Um, People might watch an hour and a half of the same sort of format on an independent YouTube channel, which probably speaks to more than them than some trendy producer's idea on the BBC now. And that's the trouble. The BBC has been taken over by, I remember Clint Eastwood called them trendies. Yeah. People who live in a bubble and perceive this is what we want to see, or perceive this is the message they want to give everyone, and we're all going to sit and listen. This is why Doctor Who, in the current recent time, Doctor Who figures have gone off because it's become preachy and woke, um, woke to extreme. Okay, I don't mind alternative ideas. I don't mind things that preach inclusion. Yeah, but it depends what you include inclusion. Inclusion doesn't mean overemphasizing one person over another. Um, and this was what happened to the BBC, and this is why people were turning off it.
Yeah.
Um, and it's got to find its soul again, if you understand what I mean. And you and I could probably argue what the BBC soul should be, but whatever it is, it needs to find it, and it needs to have people sit down and want to pay the £180 a year
Well, they
instead of
say
paying
they say
Netflix.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they say that in the US they've got their souls,
yeah,
and in the UK we've got our souls.